Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental bonus reading for the element of water for February of 2026. These are general readings, so take what works, leave the rest for somebody else. I am pulling the cards right now so that we can get going with your bonus reading. For the bonus readings, I like to use a variation of the Celtic Cross. I feel like it gives you the best snapshot of how things are rolling in the moment. And then we'll pull a couple of oracle cards at the end to get a little more clarity or maybe answer some questions. And as we're going here, if you've never had your charts read, there is a link in the description to a natal chart. It's from Llewellyn, and it is a general natal chart that gives you your base 12 houses and all the little signs and symbols, and then there's a 10 to 20 page description of what all that means. It's not a sponsored link or anything like that. It's just more of, if you need the information, it's readily available. Also, if you are interested in any of the decks I'm using, those are linked in the description as well, so you can check those out. Water covers the zodiac signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So if you are Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or have water high up in your chart, this message is for you. And we will get started here. Also, if you see something different with the cards I read intuitively, feel free to leave what your guidance is if you're interested. Just something to think about if you have a different view than what I'm seeing here. So, water, you're starting off with your significator, so this is the totality of who you are in this snapshot of time. It is number 8, strength. This is actually saying, water, you've come a long ways. You have this inner fire that is, you'd think would be contrary to your energy, but it's really not. It's showing that you can overcome things, because this technically is you, the female knight here. And that's, you're stepping up to other authorities. Like, you don't have any problems being like, no, we're not doing it that way. This is what we're going to do. Because you have the internal fortitude to actually move forward. You've grown, you've experienced, you've had a lot of things that you've had to deal with over the years, and now it's time for you to really embrace your inner strength. Does that mean that you're done? No, we're only at number 8 here. So we have a long ways to go, but you've proven to yourself that you can overcome things, that you have stepped into, you've connected with God's source, you know your guides and guardians, so you have the internal strength that is manifesting outwardly to really deal with any situation that's coming up. And I keep getting this impression that it's your inner fire that's going to raise your awareness. So instead of just being kind of low, you can boil if you need to, or you can just simmer along. It depends on what you're needing in that moment. But you definitely have the strength to handle anything. That's the energy that's coming in for now. The thing that's crossing you, oh, that's interesting, is the Queen of Wands. Fire is wands, it's the opposite of your energy, but with the Queen of Wands as a crossing energy, it's showing that there's something going on right now where you feel like there's something new coming in, but you're not ready for it. You're not sure if you want this energy or not. The Queen of Wands is almost being a little bit pushy about this. It's saying that you've done all these things, you've gotten everything ready. Why aren't you taking the next step? But because it's not your step to take. And so you've got this energy of, you have to figure out how to maneuver around this situation, because there's definitely something, there's a little shadow creature down here, that is trying to get under your skin, that's trying to push you, and it's pushing you in a way that you are not okay with. This is where you have to really make sure you're tapping into your intuition, you're working with your guides and guardians, because this Queen of Wands energy, this could be a female that's around you, or someone who carries more feminine traits, but this energy, they're wanting to push you into something new, but it's not something that's aligned with what your soul is. So be aware that you've got a little bit of this kind of an annoying fight going on right now, because it's not that you can't deal with it, it's more like, why are you driving me nuts? And it's just, that's the contrarian energy that's coming in. Remember, water, you have the strength to deal with this. This is not a permanent position. This is just something to be aware of, and this may not apply to everyone, but the people who it does apply to will be like, that's what that person's doing. And it's because they think, this crossing energy, this Queen of Wands, this person thinks that they know best for you. Remember, they're wands, they're opposite of you. So they're pushing against something that they need to not push on. So just be aware of that. Your higher self is the Six of Swords, so this is complementary energy because air is a friend to water. And with this card, you're flying above the problem. It's basically like you've conquered stuff, so you've been to war at least a few times there, so you have the strength and the fortitude to be able to do this and move forward beyond this. You're also protecting the thing that's important to you. This could be a child, this could be your personal time, this could be your spouse, this could be your living situation, whatever that may be. You're the one doing the protecting, and that's what's coming up. But the Six of Swords is saying you have gained the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to overcome situations. So your higher self is saying, don't get wrapped up in the drama of this contrarian energy, this crossing energy, because this energy is not feeding you. This is a challenge that has to be overcome and dealt with. Is that a cat? Yeah, it's a cat. Sorry. Your little shadow here's a cat. So you want to make sure that you're able to observe from a higher perspective. Don't get wrapped up in the day-to-day. Don't get wrapped up in the stuff. That's not for you, water. Your calling is to rise above it and be like, oh wait, no, I've already done this. This is a repeating pattern. What can I learn to unleash and connect this pattern, like so you can cut that cord and get it out of your system? So that's what your higher self is wanting to bring in, is this is just a lesson because there's something that hasn't quite come out in your system, and that's what's drawing this Queen of Wands energy in. So your shadow, oh, we have two queens here. We have the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Earth, complementary energy as well, but opposite to air, so this is interesting. The Queen of Pentacles is showing that you have a lot of things that are seated in your consciousness, a lot of things that are seated in your awareness. This is an energy where she's coming forward to remind you that in your shadow is all the stuff that you don't want to deal with, all the things that you've been told are bad, all the basically the conditioning has shoved the real you into the dark, and when it comes up, you bring forward what you're ready to acknowledge, to learn, and to integrate. You're not going to force the shadow. You're not going to go in there and be like, I will do it all. You're just going to have a bad time. Trust me on that. So this queen is saying, be ready, because your shadow is bringing forward your gifts. Your shadow is bringing forward your talents. When they come forward, embrace them, acknowledge what drove them into the shadow in the first place, and allow yourself the gift of healing. This is not going to be like rainbows and butterflies. There may be some tears, there may be some frustration, there may be times where you question if you're going crazy or not. You're not. It's just that now you're being allowed to be who you really were in the first place, and that can be a little bit of a challenge, water, so don't take that in a negative way. So when we look at the central column here, get all my cards lined up, your higher self is saying rise above the situation, observe it for what it is. You've already been here, done that. You have the strength, because this is who you are now, is the strength card. You have the strength, the ability, and the awareness to actually conquer anything that you put your mind to. And your shadow's saying, be ready, because you've got some of these gifts and talents that you've shoved into the dark, some of those diamonds in the rough, if you will, that are coming to the surface this month. And it's going to trigger some growth that you didn't expect, is what I'm hearing. So we'll see how that plays out for our water family. Your immediate history, so the last 1 month, 6 months, or a year, is the Five of Swords. This is showing that you have had to conquer a lot. This is you. You've had to conquer a lot. You've taken away other people's power and ability, so they no longer have the will or the ability to fight. So, water, you have really put yourself in a really strong position. Strength, obviously. But you've been benevolent. Yeah, you took away their power, but you didn't take them away. You didn't strip them of their identity. You didn't harm them in this path. And that's what's being shown here is, yes, you can still conquer a situation and be benevolent about it. And your history, 1 month, 6 months, or a year, is showing that you have had to deal with a lot, water. This has not been a one and done thing. This is showing that you've had a massive emotional and mental progression. Swords are air, air is mind. It is also attached to the clouds and the sylphs. So when you look at all this different energy, it's knowledge, it's wisdom, it's experience that has basically brought you to where you are now. So when you think about it that way, your history of having to deal with conflict, having to figure out the best possible way to handle situations has led you to the inner strength that you have in this moment, which is the guiding force of who you are. You know that you can pick up the sword and fight if you have to, but there's other ways to deal with your situations, and that's where that intellect and logic comes in. And just for base level here, Water, you have a gift of being able to get under people's thought patterns and figure out what their meanings are. And some people would say that Water is very manipulative, and it can be, but it's also a gift that can help fix problems. And that's some of that inner strength, where if you have to fight, you can, but there's other ways to deal with situations, Water, and you already know those inherently. Your immediate future, oh, this is perfect, is number 21, the universe, or I believe it would be the world in traditional tarot. And this card is saying your doors are opening. This next 1 month, 6 months, or a year, your immediate future, the doors are opening. There's really nothing that's going to stop you unless you choose to stop it yourself. This is the universe. You've completed a cycle. There's been a lesson situation going on here because this is the end of the major arcana, so it's the end of a period of learning, growth, and experience. You've conquered a lot, you've experienced a lot, and that has triggered such a growth that now you don't feel that there's anything blocking you, because there isn't. That's just a statement. So you're ready to move forward, and you're ready to move forward into what you choose. Now understand, when you step out of the universe, when you pick a path and go, you start back over at the Fool and you have to work your way back up. But that's completely acceptable because you know that you can handle it. And Water, that's the one thing I keep seeing with this whole theme is you're in a quiet period. You have a lot of purple here and a lot of red. So you're in a more quiet state because you've achieved a great deal. You could say it's a royal color, if you will. Because you've achieved so much, your understanding has grown, and that is why your immediate future is literally what you choose. It's what you're wanting, what your desires are, what you look at something and see the best possible option. So this month, one of the things I'm hearing is take some time to do some prayer and meditation, journal it out, talk to your inner circle, that 3 to 5 friends that are like family to you, and really get some feedback as to what they're seeing as well. You don't have to take their opinions, but it's good to hear from other people who you trust what all they're seeing as well. So your inner world, your inner attitude, if you will, is the Page of Pentacles. You've been really hyper focused on a financial journey that you've been on, whether it's starting a business, looking for promotion, whatever it is, and you've had some help from your higher self guiding you. And don't get distracted by one outcome, because you're at the light at the end of the tunnel is right there. So if you get distracted by, there's this shiny thing on the floor, and you completely miss that you can get out of the situation, that's not going to be good. Your inner world is actually kind of having a shift of awareness, because this is who you've been. This coin is where you have wanted to be, and now you're being called to remember there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Do you want to take this little prize here and stay, or do you want to snag that thing and go? Because you're not being denied the financial side of things. You're not being denied the smaller goal, but you're being reminded you're not done yet. So get your little goal and keep going, because there's something else outside. There's a new world out there. You're going through a tunnel. You're not sure what's on the other side yet. So don't get distracted by the shiny things on the floor. If you want them, pick them up, but you're still going forward. So your outside world, this is your outside environment, things that you don't have any control over but could be affecting you. This is the 8 of Wands, again with that fire energy. Water, you tend to want to float under the surface. You carry the heart of the ocean. You don't want to be seen, is what I'm getting here. This card is saying everyone's going to be paying attention to you. At least that's how it's going to feel. You've got people who are maybe coworkers, there might be under you, there might be managers or supervisors. They're wanting to see what you're going to do. Because of this contrarian energy, the thing that's crossing you, this Queen of Wands energy, and they're wanting to test to see if your strength holds up. This is the outer world. This is stuff you don't have a say in. It could be people who are in your friend group who are watching how your relationship goes, because they're curious how Water and Water's partner are able to do what they do. But there's definitely this being observed energy that's going on. It's not negative, although it might feel like that at times to you, Water, where you're like, why is everyone staring at me? they're not staring. They're wanting to figure out how you're going to respond, and B, how did you do what you did? So you've got a couple of different ways of looking at this. It's not just, oh my goodness, they're all staring at me. The thing that you can look at, if you choose to, is what can I show them, or what can I explain, or how can I be a better person? And then you don't have to worry about what they're doing. You're just doing yourself. So your hopes and fears is the Two of Wands, logically for fire here. The Two of Wands is a duality energy. It's saying that you have accomplished some things, you're still more you want to do. Your passions sometimes get out of control, but other times you wonder if they still exist. So you are in this balancing energy, and your offering of the world, which is interesting because your future is the universe, you're observing things from that higher frequency, but you have to make the decision. You can see it as following the middle pillar path, where you have to balance the light and the dark. You have to step through the gates of illusion and find reality on the other side. These are all ways of looking at this energy. So your hope is that you're going to make the right decision, that you're doing the right thing, that you're staying true to your path and yourself. Your fear is, am I listening to my ego? Am I doing the wrong thing? Am I doing this because someone else wants to? Wants you to. Water, you don't have to worry about what other people think. Your outcome is the universe, meaning there's nothing blocking you at this point. Where you're at in this moment is strength. You have the capability, the reality, and the will to deal with whatever is coming forward. Is it going to be easy? Maybe, maybe not. But you can handle it. That's the part that's important. Even with this crossing energy of the Queen of Wands, Queen of Fire, this is more of a pain in the rear end. It's more of an annoyance. It's not going to be an end-all be-all. It's saying don't succumb to the probes or the prods of this negative aspect, because your shadow, which is where your fears would live anyway, is saying you have so much potential that you have not acknowledged. But they're going to be bringing it forward. Your guides, guardians, God source are going to be helping you process some of your shadow, bringing some of these hidden gifts and talents into the forefront. So your hopes and fears with the Two of Wands, focus on how you can learn and grow from what is happening, and not so much, am I doing the wrong thing? Because that's kind of a fool's errand. and not the Fool Tarot. That's more like, that other fool. Because you're not looking at it from the higher perspective, like your higher self is saying. You fought these battles. Rise above it. Look at what the patterns are and free yourself. Learn the lesson so the pattern doesn't repeat. And that sounds really easy. It's not. But you have the strength to handle it, Water. This is not a new thing for you. Your overall outcome, that's interesting, is number 20 with Judgment. Using your discernment is going to guide you when you step into the universe energy. Your immediate future is yours to decide, but you have to make sure you're doing it with a discerning mind. Your higher self, your holy guides and guardians, your message from source, however you want to look at that, is saying pay attention. You have a lot of things going on, and sometimes you need help from a friend, because like this poor dude's here stuck on the ground. So sometimes you might need a little bit of help. Knowing who is going to help you and who isn't is what's important. Judgment is also seen as discernment, meaning the ability to tell right from wrong, the ability to look at things from a different perspective and choose the best path even if other people think it's not the right one. And that's what you're seeing here. This is going to be an interesting month for you overall. There's an underlying theme here, and I mentioned it a few times, and it's the number 0 in this deck. It's the Fool, and well, in Tarot it's the Fool. But what you're seeing is this is the beginning of something new. Yes, you have a challenge or two, your shadow's bringing stuff up, you've come to the end of a cycle with the universe, but now it's saying you're preparing for a new journey. You're preparing for a shift in your life pattern, your life situation. And Water, this could be something minor, but I also am feeling that this is going to cause some big time ripples. Like you're launching into a pool and you're cannonballing in there, so everything's going to start to flex around you. Whether this is a new promotion where it's a big shakeup for your life, whether it's proposing to that person, they say yes, whether it's the marriage and they're all moving in together, however it's looking for you, you're stepping into the unknown here. It is going to be a change, but it's actually something you've been looking forward to. The universe is saying, just remember, just because you've done your research and you studied or learned or whatever, you don't know everything about this. So you're kind of walking into it blind, but you're walking into it blind, holding on to God's source's hand and knowing in your heart you're listening to your intuition as your soul guidance. So we'll hop into our oracle here, see what other information we can bring out. Like, comment, and subscribe, all those fun internet things. If you see something different from any of the cards than what I'm bringing forward, what my guides are bringing forward, feel free to comment down below. As long as we're respectful, that's really all we can ask for in today's world. So with that, we'll get going. If you have a specific question you're looking for an answer to, go ahead and pause, ask your question, and then we'll see if the cards bring forth an answer for you. And with that, we will get started. Your first card is number 38, Many Masks and the Authentic Self. Water, you're a chameleon, especially Pisces, if we're going to be really honest here, because Pisces has been all 12 or all 11 of the other zodiac signs. So what this is saying is you can really adapt to any situation. You can step into the light of any reality. There's nothing that you have that's blocking you. It doesn't matter if you're going from being a barista to wanting to open a business in construction. Do you know anything about construction? Well, you'll learn. Or you might leave the barista job, go to the construction job, or leave the construction job and go to the booksellers. You can step into anything, Water, because you have been able to do a lot of things. And when we look at many masks, a lot of this is you can project whatever you need. And like I said, Pisces in particular is a master of this art because they literally are the walking chameleon. They can go into any room, they can talk with the rich and famous, they can hang out with the construction worker, everyday blue-collar guy. It doesn't matter to them. And that's what they're saying is the true version of you, the real version of Water, is you can fill any flask. You can be anything. But you also are one of the most destructive elements out there. So when you get to rockin' and rollin', things have to change. And that's what this is saying is be authentic to yourself. Wear your illusions. Use your ego as a tool and put that thing up if you're having a rough day and you have to be nice. Whatever it is. But be aware of who you are underneath all of those masks, because that is not always the easiest thing to do. So your second card is number 35, the Lost Compass, getting back to integrity. Finding your way is not the easiest thing to do. When you get back into following and doing the right thing for the right reason, even when no one is looking, that's an easy definition of integrity, doing the right thing even when no one's watching. When we really get back into this energy, Water, you start to realize you don't need to impress anybody. You're following your inner guidance. You're following your soul, God's source, and you're taking steps to improve your life as long as you're not stepping on other people. And in doing so, you're actually going to be supporting others, whether it is a conscious action of you're reaching out to pull them in, or you're showing them through action what you are doing. So you could be an example, you could be a lot of different things. But the Lost Compass is saying you've never really lost your inner guidance. You were told it was wrong, or you were raised in a situation where you didn't know it existed. And that's part of this Queen of Pentacles energy in your shadow, saying there's gifts that you have that you've never used, or that you've ignored, or that you've been told were bad. And those things are coming to the forefront. Those eggs are beginning to hatch. So this Lost Compass is really pointing you to a guiding aspect where you're going to step into something different, something bigger. Again, your underlying theme is the Fool, so new beginnings are coming. And the Lost Compass is saying when you follow your intuition, you're going to follow with integrity. Even if you may not fully understand why you're making some of these choices, but you're being led to, make sure you're following the right person. And you're going to see, actually, it's going to turn out the right way. The whole world could be screaming, you're going the wrong way! And all of a sudden you come out on the other side going, what was wrong about that? I achieved my goal and I didn't hurt anybody. And then they're going to be standing back going, oh, Water did that and we thought he wasn't. So, So don't worry about them. Your final oracle card is Number 47, the Sky Bridge, possibility for union. If you're single, water, this is a really good card. This is this opening of a romantic door. This is opening of a new friendship, possibly going into romantic. There's a shift occurring here. The possibility for union also could imply, if you're on a spiritual journey, this is where you wake up to a great deal of your higher frequencies. You might wake up to a new reality where you're connecting with the angels better, we're connecting in with God's source. There's a lot of different options here, but this is an awakening energy where you're passing through the gates of awareness and you're moving into something new. And like I said, if you're single, this could be a new relationship. If you're in a relationship, it could be a deepening of a bond, or it could be, depending on what your life's like right now, the connecting into a deeper aspect of source and the guides and guardians. So this is a great deal of awakening that is happening. February is looking a little intense for water. But not that you're not used to this. Water deals with intensity all the time. They carry the emotions of all the all the other elements, so this is not new for them. But you definitely are seeing an end of a situation, an end of a struggle, an end of a challenge, so to speak. And that's going to open the doors to a lot of new things for you, water. So embrace this shift. Enjoy this quietness that comes from achieving the universe, where you are able to pick your next path. And when you pick the next path, follow your inner guidance. Follow that lost compass energy so that you can step into the correct path. And you're still going to have lessons. That's part of life. That's what we do. But if you step out with integrity and focused on connecting with source and following a righteous path, all of a sudden, those challenges you see as lessons and they don't become a problem for you. So with that, I will let you guys and gals go. I will see you in the next video. Have a great month of February. Like I said, the big advice I can give you out of all of this is take time daily for prayer and meditation. 15 minutes is really all you need. And allow yourself the gift of opening up to the next step of your life. With that, have a great month of February, and I'll see you later.